Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna show you a complete social media automation system. In this tutorial I'm gonna use YouTube videos which you can repurpose into Instagram carousel posts, tweets or LinkedIn posts, and I'm gonna show you two approaches. The first approach will take the YouTube videos URL, create the content based on that video and publish it automatically on different social media. The second one lets you review and edit the content before publishing. You can change the status from review to approved, and only then it will be posted to your social media profiles. As usual, I'll share my screen and walk you through everything step by step. Make sure to watch this video all the way through, because if you skip around, jumping from the first part to the second to the middle, you might lose some important context and then end up spending more time figuring things out. I've tried to make this as concise as possible, so just stick with it to get the full picture of how this automation works. Let me show you a quick demo. Let's say you are on YouTube and you find a video you like. For example, this one about the top 5 AI automations for 2024. Just copy the video URL, paste it into your spreadsheet, and it's gonna run automatically according to your schedule, of course, but for this demo, I'm gonna run it manually once. And while it's running, let me show you my social media profiles. So my last post on Twitter was from September last year. On Instagram, the last post looks like this. And on LinkedIn, my last post was 2 months ago. All right, now let's wait for the workflow to finish. Okay, the automation is complete. Let's check out our social media again. First, let's refresh LinkedIn. And there it is, a new post just published. It is about the most in-demand automation solutions, and it is based on my YouTube video. Now let's check Instagram, refreshing, and there is the new post, a carousel. Again, it's about top 5 AI automation solutions you can sell to businesses, customer support AI chatbots, AI-powered personalized real estate brokerage, and so on. It looks great. I really like this format, this carousel format. And finally, let's check Twitter or X, and there is the new post as well. All right, let's break it down and build it together from scratch. As you notice, we are going to use make.com for this automation. First, you need to create a spreadsheet where you'll paste your YouTube links. Then sign up on make.com and click create a new scenario. The first block will be Google Sheets, where we need to search and select the watch new rows option. You'll have to connect your Google Spreadsheet account, obviously, then choose search by path, connect your Google Drive, and then select the spreadsheet ID. Just search for the name of your spreadsheet. In my case, it's called YouTube Repurpose, as you can see here. Next, choose the sheet name. Table contains headers, yes, and set the limit to 1, so the automation processes only one YouTube link at a time. Now, to transcribe YouTube videos, we are going to use a tool called Epify. Head over to epify.com, sign up, of course, and once you're logged in, go to the store and search for the YouTube Transcript Ninja. All right, this is the tool we'll be using. To run a job in Epify, just copy the YouTube URL, go to Epify, paste it, and click Save and Start. It will run the actor, and you can see the logs here. It only takes like a few seconds, and once it's done, you'll get the full transcript of your video. Now that you can see that Epify is working, let's connect it to make.com. Click Add another module, search for Epify, and choose Run an Actor. Okay, you'll need to connect Epify by pasting your API token. To get that, just go to Epify, find the API section, copy the token here, and paste it into make.com. All right, since we've already run the actor once within Epify, the data will now appear in make.com, and the actor should be pre-populated here so that you can choose it. For the input JSON, we need to copy the JSON structure from Epify. Go to the actors, find YouTube Transcript Ninja, and navigate to the JSON tab here. Copy that data, all right, and paste it into make.com. But instead of using a fixed YouTube link here, you need to use a variable from the spreadsheet, from the previous module here. So by the way, make sure to save your progress regularly in make.com, or you might lose your work. So let's save and click run once to test it. You'll see the output with the YouTube link extracted from your table, and it will be used for the transcription in Epify. All right, next we are going to add a delay by inserting a sleep module and setting it to something like 45 seconds. This ensures that there is enough time for the Epify to run the job before moving to the next module, okay? So after that, add another module, again, Epify, and it should be get dataset items. In this module, you'll pass the dataset ID from the previous step. So select this variable called default dataset ID. Okay, format JSON. Okay, now let's save it and run it again. I'm gonna cut this 45 seconds delay, not to waste your time. And once done, in the output, we should see the complete transcript ready to work with. Okay, next we'll add a router and start building the automation for Instagram. We'll use ChatGPT to create the post copy. So search for create a completion, add a connection. You just need to paste your API key from OpenAI developer platform, and I'm sure you know how to do it. I showed it numerous times in my previous videos. I'm gonna use the GPT-4o model, and then for our prompt, the role will be user, and message content, I have a template prepared, so I'll just paste it here. By the way, you'll find it in my resource hub in school. All the make.com scenarios that I'm showing in this video will be available in my free school community, so you don't have to build it from scratch. You can import a ready-to-use template and modify it as needed. Okay, the prompt says you are a top-tier social media content creator specializing in transforming lengthy video transcripts into concise, impactful posts. Read the transcript of my video below and repurpose the content into 5 points, and that are 15 words or less, because we want to use that carousel post, right? Before point number 1, include a line which is a hook describing the value of the following 5 points, such as here 5 hottest AI solutions to sell today. You must output only the 6 lines of text, no additional descriptive text, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we need to add the transcript as a variable that was produced by Epify. All right, and we can set maximum tokens to 0 and click OK. For the next step, we need to split the 6 lines of text using the iterator module in make.com. So I'm gonna use the split function, which is just a make.com function, to divide the result from ChatGPT into separate lines. Okay, so split, then I select the result variable from ChatGPT module, then new line, and that's it. Now, to create the carousel, we are going to use a tool called Placid. Select the Create Image module, and let's switch to Placid. After signing up, just click Add a new project, select API, let's name it Social Media Make Tutorial, create project. Inside the project, you can create a template. Let's select the first one as an example, create. Here you can customize the template as needed. You can change the name, let's leave it as it is. You can change the text, the background image, the fonts, etc. You want to keep these elements as dynamic because it will allow make.com to change the text for each post automatically. Once your template is ready, save it. You can close the template, go to API tokens. Okay, copy a token from here and paste it in make.com to establish the connection between make.com and Placid. Once done, you'll be able to select the template you created here. For the text, I'm going to use the value variable taken from the previous module from the iterator. You see, when hovering over the variable, the corresponding module starts popping. So this way you can double check that you use the output from the correct module. You can also set an author name here, let's say Bo Sar. Now let's add the array aggregator module to combine all the images generated by Placid into a single array. This will be used to post the carousel to Instagram. I'm gonna finalize the configuration for my array aggregator in a moment, but before that, we need to get some dummy data to establish the structure type here. Don't overthink it, just add the next module, which will be Instagram for Business, create a carousel post. Follow the instructions in make.com to connect your Instagram account. For every connection, you can click on this online help link and you'll find detailed guidelines on how to connect your application. So just follow them carefully and you'll be fine. Or you can also just Google it. But in this case, you'll need to set up a business portfolio in Meta, then create a business page, add your Instagram account, and then connect your Instagram account to that page. Once that's done, you'll be able to select your Instagram profile in make.com. Now, I want to add some dummy data here. I'll go ahead and add item, media type, image, then photo URL, just a placeholder here, something like https test.image, and one more item, an identical item. Okay, click save, and let's click run once. It says value must not be empty. Right, before running this scenario, go to array aggregator and select iterator, like a source module here. Okay, let's try again. Save, run once. So it is going to generate the images, then it will try to post them and it will of course fail, but we now have the structure type to finish the configuration. Let's go to the Instagram module first. Let's delete these two items I created before, switch map to on, and for files, I'm gonna select the array variable. All right, then I'm gonna go to my array aggregator module, and here as a target structure type, I'll select Instagram for Business, files, for media type, image, and photo URL. It should be our image URL variable created by Placid. Make sure to save your setup and click run once to test it. So if it runs successfully, you'll see your new Instagram post using the default template from Placid. I'm gonna go to my Instagram profile, refresh the page, and we can see this new post with the default template. So it successfully published this carousel post. Cool. Now we'll do the same for Twitter or X and for LinkedIn. Just clone the ChatGPT module and adjust the prompts for Twitter and LinkedIn. For Twitter, I'm gonna use my prompt template for creating Twitter posts. Just paste it here, click OK. Now let's add another module, search for Twitter, now X. Create a post. The Twitter connection here is a bit confusing, but again, if you go to this online help link and follow the guidelines in make.com, there shouldn't be any issues at all. For text content, I'm gonna select the result variable. So it is the output from my previous ChatGPT completion module. Okay, let's save it. And then for LinkedIn, I'll follow a similar process, delete all of this, and paste my prompt for LinkedIn post creation. Okay, add another module, and now LinkedIn, and we want to choose the create a user text post option. Okay, connect automatically. You'll just have to grant all the accesses required. And once the connection is established, for content, you want to select the result variable again from the relevant ChatGPT module. All right, click OK. Let's now save and click run once to test it. Damn, okay, something's wrong. For some reason, it's creating a longer post than I specified in my prompt. So let's add one more message here, which is going to be a system prompt. And we are going to provide some rules. Your LinkedIn post must be under 3,000 characters. Okay, let's delete it from here. You output only the post content, no descriptive text. And let's also copy this and paste it here. All right, I've updated my ChatGPT prompt. There is now a system prompt and a user prompt. Let's see if this helps. Click OK, click save, and run once. Now our workflow automation is complete. It's all successful. So if you go to Twitter, I should have a new post. Here you go. Instagram as well, 2 new posts, and on LinkedIn, just 1 new post because the first time it failed. But there it is, the new post looks good to me. Obviously, you don't have to click run once every time. You should schedule it at regular intervals, like every day at, let's say, 4 p.m. Click OK, then schedule it, and it will check for new rows in your Google spreadsheets. Take one and create a post. As you can see, sometimes you have to tweak the prompts and adjust them until you get it right, but that's how it works. You have to iterate until you get the best possible results. All right, this is great, but I personally believe, and I know that most of you agree, that when content is created entirely by AI, it's not quite there yet, right? It kind of feels generic sometimes. It lacks that kind of human touch, right? That's why I believe that we should use AI to automate everything that can be automated, but treat it as a co-pilot, not a replacement. Sometimes we need to add our own value on top of what AI generates. So I'm gonna show you how to tweak this automation so that you receive the content first, review it, make any necessary changes, and once you change the status from review to approved, it will be automatically published to your social media. Let's split this into 2 separate scenarios. The first one will create the content and send it to Airtable. Then in Airtable, you'll be able to review the content, make any amendments if needed, and then change the status from review to approved. Once the status is changed to approved, it will trigger the second automation, which will take the content from Airtable and post it to your social media. All right, let's build it from scratch. First, we need to create the table in Airtable. Once you sign up with Airtable, click Create and choose Start from Scratch. I'm gonna close this for now. First, let's rename this to Social Media Tutorial. Okay, now we'll change the table name to Social Media. Next, we need to format our columns. For the first column, edit the field and call it Post ID. Set the type to auto number and click Save. The next column will be Content, which we'll keep as long text. That's fine. Now let's delete the extra columns and create a few more from scratch. Add a new column, call it Platform, and set it to single select. Add options for Instagram, Twitter or X, and LinkedIn. Now create the type column, again with single select. And for options, add image for Instagram carousels and text for Twitter and LinkedIn. Next, we'll create the status column, also as single select, with options review, approved, and published. Just for reference, I'm gonna add a created column and set it to created time, and one more for last modified, which will track the last modified time. Great, now we have our table ready. Let's save the changes and connect this table to our automation. Let's go to our scenarios in make.com. First, we'll clone the previous scenario we created. I'm gonna click clone, save it, and call it Epify to Airtable. Then let's clone it again, and this time we'll call it Airtable to social media. Now, in the Epify to Airtable scenario, we'll remove all the existing steps for social publishing because we want to send the output to Airtable first instead of publishing it right away. So just select them, holding Shift and delete. The beginning of the workflow will stay the same. Next, we'll search for Airtable in the module list and select Create a Record. You'll need to establish a connection with Airtable. Again, there is a detailed online help available, so you can follow make.com's documentation to set it up. Once you've connected Airtable, select your base. I'm gonna refresh it, and I should see my social media tutorial as a base and social media as my table name. So we have successfully connected our social media tutorial base and social media table. Now let's map the columns to the appropriate fields. For content, I'm gonna use the result. This is the variable from the ChatGPT completion. Okay, for platform, select Instagram. For type, choose image, since we are using carousels, and set the status to review, so we can approve it before publishing to social media. Okay, click OK. Now you can toggle off all of these and click Save. Let's clone this setup a couple more times. This module will adjust for Twitter or X, update the result variable to pull it from the relevant ChatGPT completion, set the platform to Twitter or X, change type to text, and the status remains review. I'll do the same for LinkedIn, replace the content variable with the relevant ChatGPT result, set the platform to LinkedIn, type to text, and the status stays at review. Okay, click OK to confirm everything. Now let's save and run the scenario to test if it sends data to Airtable. Click Run Once, and it says scenario is paused because of exceeded limits. So I just need to upgrade my Make.com account. Give me a second and we'll continue from here. All right, I upgraded my Make.com plan to Core, which is only $10 per month, and it upgrades you from 1,000 operations per month to 10,000, which is more than enough, I think, for this particular automation. So let's go back to our scenario here and click Run Once to test it again. All right, it created the records and it should have populated them here. Now, yeah, we have our content for Instagram like this. We have our content for Twitter, and we have our content for LinkedIn. All right, and you can change it here. For example, this, looking forward to your thoughts. I don't need this in my LinkedIn post. So first of all, I can just delete it, change the status to approved, and only then it will be published. But also this way you can go back to Make.com and amend your prompt for ChatGPT and iterate until you get a really satisfying output. So you can test it with Make.com and Airtable back and forth instead of publishing each iteration to your social media profiles. Now let's set up the second step. We want to send the content from Airtable to our social media. So I'm gonna delete all of this, the first part of the automation. And now we are going to connect Airtable again. Select the Watch Records module. Let's select our base, social media tutorial, and the table social media. For the trigger field, select last modified, and for the label field, let's use post ID. Hit OK. Next, we are going to use a router to send the content from Airtable to our social media. So we don't need these ChatGPT modules anymore, as we'll be sending it directly, right? But before sending it to the social media modules, we need to set up some rules, right? So we are going to add a filter, label it Instagram, and the condition will be that the platform is equal to Instagram, and another rule will be that the status is equal to approved. Let's click OK and save anyway. Okay, now let's set up similar filters for Twitter X, and the condition will be equals Twitter X, and another rule will be that status equals to approved. Okay, do the same for LinkedIn. Set up the filter, label it LinkedIn. Condition will be the platform equals LinkedIn, and another rule will be that status equals approved. Let's quickly review this iterator. The result variable is no longer here, so we need to replace it, and it needs to be replaced with the content variable, because what used to be the result in our ChatGPT module is now content, as we pass it into the content column to Airtable, right? So we just need to change this variable and click save. Let's check if any variables need to be updated here. No, all good, all good. Okay, for Twitter, the same thing. We need to change result to content, and the same with LinkedIn, change result to content. Cool, now let's save it. I'm going to change the statuses from review to approved. Then I'll launch this automation and it should post the content. As you can see, here's the output: platform Instagram, type image, status approved. and the content to publish. The same for Twitter and the same for LinkedIn. Now it's going to create posts for our social media profiles accordingly. You can also check the filter inspector here. Platform equals Instagram, status equals approved, so our conditions are satisfied, and the workflow continues. Okay, we have an error with Twitter. Why is that? No idea. Let's see. You're not permitted to perform this action. Well, that's probably because I posted too many times today and the posts were similar. So I guess it's against Twitter rules. Let's delete my tweets here. And I think I'm gonna wait for a few hours and then try again. All right, I didn't change any settings here. I just waited for a few hours, and also I changed the video I used for my table here because I wanted to avoid any anti-spamming blocks from Twitter. So let's change the statuses to approved and test it once again. Click run once. And let's see how it works. And yep, the automation is now complete and successful. So we should see a new post here. Let's refresh the page. And yeah, there is a new carousel post. There should also be a new post on LinkedIn. Yes, posted just now. And for Twitter, there is also a new post here. Okay, so it works well. Now let's talk about the costs. First of all, there are AI tokens for ChatGPT completions, but those costs are so low you'll barely notice them. It's like a few dollars per month or even less than that. Then there is Make.com, Airtable and Epify. All three offer very generous free tiers, so if you're posting like once a day, you should probably stay within their free plans. For example, on Epify, I made like 20 YouTube transcripts and only spent 35 cents, but they give you $5 worth of free credits every month, which is enough for this use case. With Make.com, you get 1,000 operations a month, which is also more than enough, in my opinion, for kind of occasional usage. But if you need to upgrade to 10,000 operations, it's only $10 per month, which is quite affordable as well. Only tool you'll really have to pay for is Placid, which costs $20 per month. This tool is great for creating Instagram carousel posts, and I think it's really worth it. However, if you don't want to use carousels, you could skip Placid and use AI-generated images along with AI-generated captions, which would bring down your costs even more. I just really like this carousel format much better. But anyway, depending on what you choose, this automation could cost you around $20 per month or even less than that, while saving you a ton of time and effort. Of course, you can do the same for other social media platforms. For example, you can add a Facebook module at the end and it'll automatically create a post on Facebook. You can also use different input sources. For this tutorial, I decided to use YouTube videos, but you could use an article or a blog post or even your voice recordings. You can dictate your unstructured thoughts. ChatGPT will then clean them up and create a post for your social media based on that voice message. Cool, right? If you like this video, I'll make similar ones where I'll cover all those use cases. So just let me know in the comments, and if I see enough interest, I'll make sure to do that. And if you want to become an expert in building automations like this or other AI solutions, and maybe even start selling them to businesses as we do at our agency, check out our AI fellowship program. The URL is aif.academy. I'm going to attach the link in the video description. I hope to see you there. Bye for now.